question is, Smita, is there an attempt to create a disinformation campaign in our country as force mobilizers to political parties? I'll leave it there. Because if I say anything more, Santosh Mehrotra will walk out.
Look, yeah, okay. I don't think so. I think he has more tolerance than that. Let's at least hope for that. While I agree with most of your panelists who say that, that we have a safety net in India, in the sense of we have a scale which is larger than Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Nepal. We have diversity as compared to Bangladesh, Nepal, Sri Lanka. And even our economic downturns which have happened in India, they've been, the strong institutions that we have, they respond and they take corrective action. So whenever there have been downturns, it hasn't resulted in an overthrow like it's happened in Sri Lanka. There is a kind of a check because we have functional electoral democracy, which is able to withstand any kind of, deep state interference if there was any at any point of time. And I think we have seen in the past that it's been there. But to say that student-led agitations in India and the protests, they have not led to overthrow and cannot ever do it, I beg to differ. They do degrade the effectiveness of a government which has been electorally chosen. Let's not forget the JP movement in the 70s and the Mandal agitation of the 90s, the CAA protests, these were student uprisings. They do destabilize the governments indirectly. They did destabilize. Indirectly, they did it because ultimately when the government went, it went through various things. The emergency happened, Mandal Commission backlash happened, Anna Hazare movement happened, anti-corruption movement. Now, what happens is that those student movements, they degrade the government and then it gets channeled into electoral politics. Now, whether it is Arun Jaitley, Lalu Yadav, Kanhaiya, they were all student leaders, but they didn't overthrow the government. So somehow our institutions are strong, but then we cannot take it lightly that there are people who are trying to degrade our institutions, and they do get support from countries which are inimical to India's rise. So there is a movement which is constantly happening to surround India, like whether you want to call it a string of pearls or a chokehold, whatever it is, our rise upwards to become a greater economy. I'm not going to say Vishwaguru or any of these epithets, but our rise makes our neighbors as well as the superpowers uncomfortable. So you want to see that there are shadows and there are no shadows, or there is a foreign-handed work. I do not put anything past any of these superpowers to fuel those unrests.
Absolutely. And I will wrap it up there. My only point here is that we must not try to normalize foreign influence. The students in Nepal are saying there was a mastermind. They don't know who it was. And buying social media influence is the cheapest way to carry out regime change. Least investment, maximum return for the deep state. All I'd say is